can count the days watching me out of time, just standing up, 'cause your heart will love all the body, something to hold, all feels of fear that don't get old. Rest the body and soul, rest the body and soul, rest the body and soul. Trust your heart will know
What's wrong with me?
rest the body and soul. Trust your heart will know
What's wrong with me?
one day you'll fall in love. One day you'll in
What's wrong
love.
with me?
One day you'll in love. One day you'll in love.
Just set me free.
No end to a day.
What's wrong with me? Where should I be?
I can count the days watching me out of time, just standing up, 'cause your heart will love all the body, something to hold, all feels of fear that don't get old. Rest the body and soul, rest the body and soul, rest the body and soul.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good today. My name is Cha Lontok. I will be your host for tonight, together with our wonderful guests, and of course, all of you tuning in right now. You know, we have such a great talk in store for all of you today. It's very relevant to us for two main reasons, and I'm sure a lot of you could relate with this. The first being Mommy Mundo's hashtag Mind Your Mind theme for the month is actually education. And second, because of what we moms are all going through and experiencing at the moment, not just moms, I'm sure there are dads out there or guardians, grandparents, even any adult who are there and, taking care of the kids. And it's even more relevant given the type of future we are seeing for our children and our children's children even. I would go so far as to say the topic is now part of modern and everyday parenting. So you definitely can't skip this. Now, before I get ahead of myself, let me just say hello to everyone watching. I did say good evening, but it could even be a good day to some of you. Maybe some of you are watching outside of the Philippines. So I see Florita, Mel, Albao, Carla. Hi, thank you for everyone greeting in and joining in. Regina says, looking forward to this nice topic. Yes, a lot of my friends are watching in too. We're so eager. I think that's the word, eager to learn about this. And of course, most especially to our media friends as well who made time to be here. I hear that some of you are even watching with your kids. You know what? Why don't we warm things up a bit? Okay, let me ask all the moms watching, the dads maybe, or whoever adults are watching right now. If you're watching with your kids, let us know. If you're watching with your husband or your wife or your partner, let us know too. And where you're watching from. Are you watching from Cebu City, Manila, Makati City? Are you watching in the kitchen or in the bedroom getting ready to sleep? We'll keep it at that. No need to give too much details, okay? But I just want to see and hear from all of you. If you could just start typing in, then we'll get back to that, okay? Again, I'm asking everyone, feel free to start typing. We want to warm up the keyboard and warm ourselves up so we know how you guys are doing and where you're watching from. So type away. So before I get to that, let's of course acknowledge Mommy Mundo, the community that has actually been there for me, myself as well, and for all the other moms who are there. Since 2003, Mommy Mundo has been hosting events like these, sharing what it can, what it knows, and what it loves by advocating healthy pregnancy, breastfeeding, active parenting, mom wellness, and mompreneurship. They provide information and support to moms in the various stages of their mommy journey in ways that are inspiring and empowering. Today's event is co-presented by Google, and this event also launches the Internet Awesome Parents webinar series. It aims to equip parents and guardians with the knowledge and tools of educating their kids about internet safety and digital responsibility. You know what? I just have to repeat this because I know how important this is to a lot of us who are making time to watch this. We actually are aiming to equip parents, adults, guardians with the knowledge and tools of educating our kids about internet safety and digital responsibility. Years back, these are things that we never really needed to talk about decades ago, right? Okay, but now we're hearing this more often, internet safety and digital responsibility. What is it really? How can we help our kids with it? The series will begin right now here at Mommy Mundo's Facebook page, which will be streamed as well on Google Philippines on Facebook account. And of course, YouTube channel. The topics will be discussed are grounded on Google's Internet Awesome Parents, an educational resource that encourages family or healthy family conversations on how to best take advantage of technology in a safe, fun, and productive way. I like that. Safe, fun, and productive way. The webinars will run for 3 consecutive weeks. So save the dates. If you're watching right now, good. Then join us again, of course, in the following dates. There's one on September 22 as well as September 29, all at the same time, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Make sure to save the dates, all right? So, again, I just want to say hi to everyone. Hi, Mommy Regina. I see Rich, good evening to you. So I'm seeing a lot of good evenings, which means a lot of people are watching from here in the Philippines. Again, feel free to type away where you're watching from, who you're watching with, and best of all, maybe start, thinking what is it that you really want to learn or questions that you might have about, raising our kids, or how can we help our kids become better netizens. So before we begin, we must first go ahead and apply the Mommy Mundo tradition of event giveaways, which is for this event we will be doing right now. What do we have for you all today? Well, let's show it. Here's a little something because all of you are making time as well. Okay. Our swag flash, please. Let's show it. There we go. Okay. a little bit of suspense there, but even I want to have this. So you guys are really lucky. This is what we have for you today. Can you see it? Really exciting, right? There you go. Ah, me too, if only I could join. And it's really simple. If you'd like a chance of getting these very cool items that you see on screen, please make sure to follow the instructions carefully. It's simple, but listen well. Share our live feed right now on your feed as well. Okay? Please make sure your account is public so we can also check it, or that particular post is on public mode just so we are able to check it as well. In your sharing, include our hashtags, and this is so important so we can track and find your post as well. Hashtag internet awesome parents and hashtag mommy mundo, so we know that you actually did it. Okay? Hashtag internet awesome parents and hashtag mommy mundo on the platforms that you are sharing it on. When you're done with the sharing, head on over. You can check out the stories of Mommy Mundo and look for our question to answer. It's going to be posted on the other platform on the stories page, and you will see there a question. And when you find it, all you have to do is answer that question. Winners will get the Google swags we just showed you, and we will be announcing the winners at the end of the month. Okay. I'm actually sharing it live as well on my own page too. So I hope you could all start doing that. And then maybe start checking using whichever device you're holding right now or an extra device that you might have at home, the stories of Mommy Mundo. And then you'll be able to find there that question that you could all answer and get a chance to win these wonderful items. Even I want to join, but no, I'm here to learn with all of you as well. So before we officially begin, let me just say hello to everyone because I'm seeing a lot of you typing in. Thank you for warming up your fingers. Wow. Hi, Anne. You're watching from Jensen. Amazing. Hello. Lali's watching from Bacoor. Good evening from Florita. Watching from Caloocan while eating. Yes, some of you might have had dinner already. Some are learning and eating at the same time. That's totally okay. Whichever is comfortable for you guys. A lot of people saying hi. Mommy Lilette. Momshi, ang tawag niya. Lilette watching from Imus. Mommy Shane from Santa Cruz, Laguna. Oh, I love it. I love it that we're all hearing from all of you. I like this. Crisanta is saying, watching with dad and kiddo from Pasig. That's actually a really great idea. Yes, it's teaching our kids to be internet awesome, but some of these things they could already start absorbing themselves. So maybe you could have your kids as well with you. So great idea, Crisanta. Thank you for sharing that. Gemma watching from Davao City as well. Oh, Rich is watching with her 5-year-old daughter on the. Okay, wonderful. Okay, yes, we see you, She. Yes, we see you from Pasay, Cebu City. There we go. Hi. I only know how to say maayong buntag, so I forgot how to say good evening. So salamat, Teresa Pagsama, all the way from Cebu City, and Carla as well. Okay, watching also with a 5-year-old to Kale. How about the daddies? Any daddies here, maybe grandparents or other adults just, here because they need to learn as well? Just type away. Yorella watching from Quezon City. All right, thank you so much. So again, don't forget to start sharing it right now in your platforms, and don't forget to answer the question on the stories of Mommy Mundo to get a chance to win those prizes. Tag your friends, share it with your other adult friends who have kids, who are taking care of kids. All right, and I'm sure we guys are we're all going to have fun and learn a lot. Okay, all right. Before we go on to the main part of our program, to give us some opening remarks, may I please call on the Country Director of Google Philippines, Miss Bernadette Nacario.
Especially to the parents and guardians tuned in right now. I hope that you're already taking a rest by now and are safe wherever you may be watching us from. My name is Deb, and I lead the Google team here in the Philippines. Technology has made our lives so much easier. Before, we needed to go to a physical library just to be able to do some research. Now, through modern innovations, in just a matter of click or tap, not only we're able to get information, but we can go places and experience activities as if we're actually there. The power of technology continues to change our lives. However, as we utilize technology, we have to be more mindful of how to use it in a safer and more responsible way, especially our kids who rely more on it. As a mom of a digital native, I'm able to see firsthand how kids nowadays are inevitably becoming more exposed to technology and the internet. My 15-year-old daughter is among the many students who are finding their way through online classes and virtual social interactions. At first, being at home with my daughter 24 by 7 gave me a sense of security since I can check on her all day. But I later on realized that just like all other parents out there, I want her to still practice independence even if she's just at home. This also presents a more sustainable way of raising her as a responsible digital citizen. Especially now that kids' usage of technology is hinged on their academic needs and social interactions, it is all the more important that they learn to use the internet responsibly. The parents behind today's session understand that this is a topic that we might not be experts on. This is why we would like to equip you with the knowledge and tools to teach your children about digital citizenship. The Internet Awesome Parents webinar series is an educational resource that encourages healthy family conversations on how to best take advantage of technology in a safe, fun, and productive way. Together with our parenting experts, we at Google will continue to enable families and communities to help make the internet a safer place for children. We are committed to helping guide the youth how to be confident explorers of the online world, and we hope you can join us too. Before I end my message, I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Mommy Mundo community for collaborating with us for this important initiative. We are truly grateful for lending with us their voice to build awareness and engagements on helping families become more internet smart for their kids. To our parents and guardians watching us right now, thank you again for joining us this evening. And I hope that you'll have a restful night ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Det Nacario, Country Director of Google Philippines. I really love that you helped us, welcome everyone. And when you said the word digital citizenship, another new word for a lot of people, but we're getting accustomed to pakonti-konti pumapasok siya into our vocabulary. So that's what we're going to be learning today. So once again, thanks, Det. I really loved your message. It really sets the tone for everyone here. We will get started because I know it's right about time to learn, and I will be learning with you. Makikinig din ako with all of you because I also have two kids and they're always online as well. So this is something I also need. And before I go to that, I just want to address Therese. Thank you so much. Maayong gabi. We all learned something new. Maayong gabi. That's simple and that beautiful in Cebuano. Thank you so much. A few greetings quickly. Oh, Casey says, I taught my son how to Google safely. Great. Okay. I will be honest though, I haven't gotten there. And that's why I'm here learning with all of you. Hello from Pangasinan, Catherine. Chell said she's sharing it already. Thank you so much. I really believe this is very helpful to a lot of people. So thank you for sharing it. Hi, Kitty, and everyone else. All right. Lastly, Pamela from Iloilo City as well. And some of you are saying that you're watching with your kids. Wonderful idea. I should probably do that too. So it's about time for that moment that we've all been waiting for, simply because we're all, scratching our heads and wondering, okay, maybe I have some ideas, what's the right way to, the right way to act when you're online, or how to be. But really, how can we help our kids to become better online citizens, or internet netizens, as they say it, or call it netizens? So now for our main discussion, I would like to call on our guest speaker for today. She's an advocate of play, Me too. I love that. And the founding partner and directress of Playworks. Let's all welcome Miss Gabby Roa-Limjoco. Hi, Teacher Gabby.
Hi, Shal. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Teacher Gabby. We can't wait. So I'll turn it over to you. It's all yours, and I'll be back later.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening, everybody. And yes, I am the directress for Playworks, which is primarily a preschool, but I am also a parent of a young adult, a teenager, and a preschooler. So, please don't judge me by my family planning. But whatever I'm going to share with you today is from my experience raising my three kids, but also with my master's in family life and child development and being a directress and working with families for over 17 years. So, teaching kids to be better netizens, and suddenly that's what is really so important now. So, let's start. When I was preparing for this talk, I was asking parents and friends, like, what questions might you have? And the first question is always, how can I just ban it altogether? Like, just completely take away the gadget and get them offline. And for us who grew up with it, maybe that's really what we want to do. But if there's anything that we have learned in the past 18 months, is that our children are living, well, so are we, in the digital realm. We are so immersed in this digital space. We're doing everything online. And there really are benefits to media use, including exposure to new ideas. You know, they learn new things. Sometimes I ask my kids, like, where did you learn that? And they'll say, oh, I saw it online. So they learn new things, and there's so many opportunities for them to connect socially and find support online, and even new opportunities to just get information and be globally aware. So there are just so many benefits, and our focus should be more on, instead of really trying to control them or control the device and what app or what site, we should try to focus on behaviors and choices. And that's what we're starting off with, trying to figure out what are the positive online behaviors in your child. And while everything is really online, I feel that positive online behavior is the same as positive offline behavior. So, whatever we want our children to be like online is how it needs to start offline. It needs to start at home. It needs to start off the gadget. Yes, there's so many things to learn there, but it's really through interacting offline that children will learn positive behaviors. Like what behaviors really? So it all boils down to respect. I'm sharing here in our classrooms, our online classrooms, we have these rules and reminders for our kids. And really, why do we impose rules? Why do we have rules? It's because we want our children to learn how to live respectfully and kindly. So that's really what it's about. And being mindful of other people, because we're in a world with many people, and no matter what, we have to interact. And so we want to teach our children to be mindful of those people. And there's that book that says, all I really need to know I learned in kindergarten. It's so true, because these are just basic skills. Raise your hand, wait for your turn, um, listen to others. So those are just basic behaviors that we expect from everybody, whether they're online or offline. So what do these positive behaviors look like? Um, I wanted to start out with good manners. Actually, this month of September is the month of good manners and right conduct. And do you guys remember, naalala niyo ba, we used to have that class, good manners and right conduct. Now it's really being replaced already. But these good manners are still important, and I think it will be relevant forever. Children who are attending online classes, or even us who are attending meetings online, we need to learn and be mindful of these good manners. Things like turn on your camera when you're able to, or at least when you enter an online meeting, at least greet people, like use an emoji, waving, using the chat box. But even better, like really turning on and saying hello, good evening. It's just common courtesy when you enter a class. So it's something that we do online when our children come into the classroom. We spend a few minutes greeting each other. And I think that's a positive behavior that we would want to see in children. Also taking turns. Children, when we first started this online classrooms, I had a parent who was quite upset that why are you muting my child? And my child has so many things to say, and he doesn't have the chance to. And of course, this was a class of about 15 kids, and we couldn't get everybody to speak all together. And we had to teach her, like, dialogue with this parent and the child, that yes, you have something to say, but we also need to take turns. And we need to learn how to raise our hands, to wait for our turn to talk, but also to learn how to listen. And on the other side of taking turns, children also need to learn how to patiently wait, especially now that the kids are so used to things at the touch of a finger. They have everything. They also need to learn how to wait. So let's say even my 6-year-old, she asked me to buy this simple toy online, and we have been waiting. And it's really a test of her patience to wait for that to arrive. So these are also some behaviors that children need to learn: to wait patiently, to wait for others to finish speaking. We also want to teach children how to think before they post. And it has to start with you. Like, before you post, you want to ask yourself, is my comment going to be constructive? Is it going to be kind? Is it going to be respectful? Many times we want to hide behind our profile picture. Sometimes we don't even use our own profile picture, and suddenly we're so brave to say so many things. So children need to learn that if you're not going to say something to someone's face, or if you can't say it to somebody face to face, then don't say it to them online. And just to bring it into a micro setting, I have my daughter who she likes to use the chat box. She's very shy and she prefers to use the chat box. But I'm also trying to encourage her to say something to her friends or to her classmates. So sometimes we'll ask her at the dinner table, like, oh, why did you get upset? Oh, I'll just text it to you. Oh, no. We try to, of course, it's easier for her to just type it out and not confront what we all have to say at the dinner table. But we're really trying to help her to learn how to speak it out loud, and to join the discussion. Because if she just texts it to us, then that just stops there. Then the conversation ends, unlike if it's an ongoing conversation. So it's also teaching children how to listen to what we have to say, what other people have to say, showing respectful conversation. Some people may actually have different opinions, and that's okay. And we just want to learn and teach our children how to treat people with the same respect that you would show them if you were face to face. So these are some behaviors that we want our children to see, or that we want to see in our children: good manners, listening to each other, and also having a personal space. Personal space is my own space, and in an online setting, that's like your privacy settings. Like, how much are you willing to share, and how much are you sharing, and being aware of your privacy settings. Even for our kids, sometimes we keep on posting about them, but also being mindful if they want you to put their photos online. So, and then for the space of other people, so there's our space, and then there's the space of other people. And that includes like screen sharing. For example, in my daughter's class, the kids, when the teacher shares her screen and the kids scribble on it, the teacher will remind them, this is my space, And please respect it. Like if you were drawing on a paper, you don't want me to come and start drawing on your paper. So this is my paper. So teaching children the respect for that screen as the teacher's space, or teaching children about commenting, let's say on somebody's social media page or on somebody's wall, that you're not hiding behind this profile and that what you're going to say will be in that person's space. So these are some behaviors that you want to see in children and develop in that. And I'm sure you all agree, yes, that is a good thing. But how are we going to do it? Sorry, just wanted to, yeah. Oh, okay. Just wanted to help you like try to figure out how can we encourage these positive behaviors. So earlier I said that rather than banning gadgets, we can instead empower our children to use technology responsibly. So because it, like Miss Det said earlier, there, children can learn, they can create things, and they can take part in the digital world. That's what a netizen is. And so instead of banning them, we want to teach them from an early age how to use it properly and responsibly. And one of the big words recently, and for good reason, I mean, we really need it, are mindfulness practices. So I want to take this mindfulness practice to support kids in making wise decisions. So as they go along in using technology, for them to make decisions on their own. And so here in this photo, we have one of our students doing some breathing exercises, which is a mindfulness practice, and it's something that we have incorporated into our curriculum. It's amazing kasi pati yung mga babies, mga 1-year-olds, they learn how to stop and do their breathing exercises. And mindfulness has 3 parts. It's about paying attention on purpose, so you're really being purposeful. It's being in the present moment, and it's so hard for us now. I mean, like, so many things going on. You're listening to me, and there's your social media's on, and just so many distractions. So being mindful draws you back into the present moment, but also what's important is you're not judging it. That when you're mindful, you're being non-judgmental. And I'll show you how that helps to teach our children to navigate the digital world and how to behave appropriately. So practices for mindfulness include also yoga. And so there are 3 things that you can use to help your child learn to be more mindful of their online behavior. So first is attention. One of the benefits of mindfulness, breathing and these yoga practices, is that a person is able to pay attention at the present moment. For children, for learners, they develop that ability to suddenly focus on key ideas, thoughts, and actions. When they're doing mindful breathing, it develops that attention muscle. So attention pala is a muscle that needs to be practiced and developed. And it helps them to be more intentional. So when your child is paying attention, they become more intentional, and they start discerning. They start thinking about making decisions. And this can be from young children and even for ourselves. So in class, when the children are suddenly, becoming inattentive or they're getting distracted, then we take them back by doing some breathing exercises to help them to refocus, to go back into the present moment and start paying attention. And sometimes we even use keywords like I'm thinking, I'm breathing, I'm listening. And so that helps them to come back and pay attention. And then there's awareness. Through mindfulness practices, learners develop their ability to become more physically and emotionally aware. Physically aware. Oh, my back is a bit painful, and that's why I can't sit up so straight. So that's being physically aware. Or my heart is beating so fast. I think I'm getting nervous. Okay, why am I getting nervous? So it's just feeling those feelings. And emotionally, like I saw this post and I don't really like it, or it makes me feel sad, or it makes me feel maybe jealous or envious of what they have. So it's just bringing attention to how they're feeling. Imagine, like, for your teenagers, when you're going through teens and puberty, you're so self-conscious already as it is. There's so many thoughts in your mind that you're worrying about. And then you have social media. You have all this data in social media. And then you have to filter through fake news stories, or then you have to figure out your learning tasks, your activities, and for class, and all these things going on for you. And it's through self-awareness that we can support our students, our children, to examine, okay, how is this making you feel? And then before they react, they can choose a wise response. So before they can, let's say if something makes them angry, or sometimes when you're naiinggit, so you wanna comment or say bad stuff, so they can be aware that, okay, I'm just getting jealous about that, so I'm gonna be careful about what I post or how I'm gonna comment, or I will let it go. So you can also use awareness with your little kids, like asking them after they, while they're using their gadget, how are they feeling? Or sometimes I ask my daughter, like after I give her some time to use her device, I say, how are you feeling? Are you feeling tired? Because I can see you blinking your eyes, or you're stretching because you're already so tired. So you can also bring your children's awareness to that. You can ask them how it makes them feel. Like, so again, my 6-year-old, I will tell her, you're masungit na because you're so tired. Your brain is so tired from using your gadget. You can also ask them about, like, when they answer, you can say, well, what makes you say that? So it's important to just bring awareness to that. Another thing we do is, where am I feeling it? So sometimes when I feel angry, instead of thinking, bakit ba ako galit? Kasi ginawa niya to, ginawa niya na yan. I go into myself and think, okay, I feel angry in my heart. And I feel like my hands want to squeeze. And that's it. I just feel the feeling kasi lalagpas rin yun. So that feeling will go by. And instead of reacting and saying something mean, or posting, how I'm feeling online, I can just feel the feel and then let it pass. Wala akong nasaktan. And I didn't post myself online in a bad way. So these are things that we can teach our children, that self-awareness. You can also ask them, like, in what ways does technology make me feel safe? Sometimes kids use social media, or chatting with their friends to when they're feeling sad or when they're feeling upset. So it's their safe space. So you can ask them about that. So helping them to think about how media and technology and devices are making them feel emotionally, but even also physically, because they know that when you bring their attention to it, that, oh, you're tired because you've been using it the whole day, then they start to realize that. And it becomes easier later on to work with them on how much time they should be online. So through awareness, students will learn to be more reflective. They start to think about their emotions, not just the positive. Hindi naman kailangan parating good, but even the negative emotions, and just being aware of those negative emotions that they experience while they're going online. And the final A of mindfulness stands for acceptance before response. So remember, I said mindfulness is being non-judgmental. And sometimes we forget that we should pause. Yung pause button na before I saw something online, pause before I react. And in that pause, you have a choice. You have a choice to decide, am I going to be mean? Am I going to ignore it? Am I going to be kind? Am I going to try to see what is the perspective of this person? So sometimes kasi, studies show that people who are so immersed in the digital world were so reactive. parang we're so self-centered. Everything is about me and how it makes me feel and what I like and what I don't like. So having that pause button, that acceptance that well, that's his point of view, is is gives you a choice and helps you to behave better online. And yeah, it's easy to tell our kids, don't do this, don't do that. But I wanted to share these mindfulness tips because this is for the long term. Our children are in it for the long term. And these are things that can help them to make decisions because we're not always going to be there to tell them. And acceptance teaches your child to shift from being reactive, naiinggit, nagagalit, or happy, or sad. And it teaches them to move into a more calm response. And because they're able to slow down their mind and develop an awareness, these mindfulness practices will help them also to really think about what they're thinking and what they're feeling. So these are the 3 A's of mindfulness that you can use to dialogue with your child and teach them, and for yourself too. It's also helpful for parents. So we want to reinforce positive behaviors. We want more positive behaviors. So you can use praise and rewards. That's super okay, but you also have to be wise because the kids are wiser than you. So tell your child when they're behaving in positive ways. So that's praise. Telling them, and it's not just saying like, "Oh, you did a good job," or "Ang galing-galing mo," "Oh, you're so smart." It's really being specific about why you think what they did is helpful to you and it's helpful to other people. So it's not just dismissing it as, okay, good job, but that, let's say, things that they do online, even something simple like, okay, you saw the trash and you picked it up. At least you helped, let's say, Yaya, so she didn't have to clean it. It gave her some time. So it's explaining why it's helpful to you and to other people, and not just saying good job. Guiding your child also to notice their own positive behavior. That it will encourage them and show them why they want to behave better in the future. So using praise in a specific way. And when you use rewards, it's not all the time. That's my husband. He's a spoiler. Like, lahat na lang. Bawat subo of my daughter, he wants to give her a prize. And she's already getting wise. Like, oh, okay, but what does it mean? And that's not what we want to teach. And I'm trying to teach that to my husband. But yeah, using these rewards, it's okay, but you have to use it strategically and know when to pull back, or give them like let's say, if you like with my daughter, if she wants something from me, she knows we have to do like a maze. Okay, if you made sure that you took a bath on time, that you followed our agreement on how much time you can be online. So it's a list depending on the item. It's a list of maybe 2, 3, can be up to 5 or more things that she has to check off before she can get her online time, or before she can get her prize. So using rewards. And then children also need boundaries. So I know as parents, we want to give them everything. But when children know their boundaries, they learn that it helps them to make decisions. It helps them to make wise decisions. So children will like to test. Pwede ba to? Papayag ba si mommy na another 30 minutes? She's not watching me. So they need to know that if you set a boundary or a limit, they need to know that there's going to be a consequence. So, for example, you can say like, you have until 1 o'clock to do your homework. If it isn't done by then sorry, you're going to lose time to use your gadget. So it helps them also to focus, to manage their time, and to be aware of, if they don't do something, then something else, they lose out on something else. So this gives them boundaries and lets them know that if you don't do it, there's an outcome. And it helps them to see consequences. And that's life, diba? That happens to us. If we decide to call in sick today, then we don't get any money for today because we didn't go to work today. So that's life, and that's something that we want to teach our children. So make sure that you also consistently follow your plans and whatever boundaries you set for your children, whatever limits you set for your children. Of course, the internet and all of technology is great tool, but in anything there has to be limits. And so if you set a limit, you can have a family media use plan with your child. You can decide depending on their age level, like, okay, how long. I know a lot of you are asking, like, what's the recommended amount of time that children should be using their gadgets? And let's say, before they used to say talagang children from 0 to 2, absolutely no gadgets. But in a while, I will share with you like the appropriate activities that young children can do online. And then as they get older, let's say like a preschooler or an early grader, maybe up to 9 years old, maybe at most is really like 3 to 4 hours on a gadget. And medyo kasama na rin dun is their class time. So, managing that. Okay, why did I share that? There, so you can have a family media use plan with each child. So it's not going to be the same for everyone. I mean, like my 14-year-old will have a different time from my 6-year-old. So having that plan, discussing that plan with each child, and really following it. Hindi naman yung it's on paper lang and then nothing happens. So making sure that you follow it. Okay, next tip is that helping your child do better, because really making mistakes is part of learning. For example, if they didn't get to follow their media plan, it's part of learning. And you can talk with your child about that behavior. Let's say for your teenagers, they really tend to stay online for longer periods, losing sleep over it. So don't naman be so rigid that the next day you're gonna take away their gadget and punish them. Give them an opportunity. Talk with your child about the behavior. Like today, you're feeling so sleepy and you're having a hard time to focus because you slept late last night. Helping them to understand that that their behavior, sleeping late, has a consequence. And at the same time, you can say, we discussed, for example, that you would turn off your gadget at 9 p.m., but you didn't follow. So you can tell them, tonight, you have to turn over your phone to me and by 9 p.m. So they lose that privilege of holding on to it. Or you can say, I will turn off the internet at a certain time. So following through with your consequences, but also talking to your child about, well, tomorrow you can try to do better, and showing them. So guide them also to think about alternative positive behaviors that they might choose. So next time, sometimes they'll say, "Oh, but my friends were all chatting and they were all online." Then you can guide them. Okay, next time you can tell your friends that we can do it on the weekend instead of a school day. So helping them, guiding them in making the right decisions next time. Hindi yung you just punished them and gave a consequence, but didn't guide them in doing better. So there, you can ask them, what do you think you could have done differently, or what could you do better? And finally, my tip to reinforce positive behavior is really to make sure that you are a good role model. For example, in our home, we have these media-free zones where, let's say, like the dinner table, I always say no gadgets at the dinner table because it forces us to talk. It forces us to make cuento. It forces us to listen to each other. But my girls always remind their dada, make sure that you leave your phone. And my youngest will even get his phone and like put it far away. So have media-free zones and follow it. But you have to start. You have to be a good role model. And even in your own interactions online, show your kids that you're being a good model. Another thing is you can also actively develop a network, because sometimes our kids are online, and having this network of trusted people who can engage with your children through social media, like I don't know. Well, now it's okay, but there are some children who don't want to be friends with their parents online, or who don't want to be friends with their parents on social media, or they have like a dump account, or they have their parent account and then they have an account for everybody else. And so you can engage somebody who they can trust. So for example, I asked my 25-year-old to look into my 14-year-old's social media, or to just be my, just not really parang policing, but just guiding her also in what is the right thing to post and what is not the right thing to post. So those are some tips for positive online, reinforcing positive online behavior. Okay, so for our next topic, everybody is online. It's our second year of online distance learning, and in all the talks I've been giving, and I'm active in my kids' school. The parents are all saying that they're so tamad, the kids are so unmotivated. So we also need to be mindful, and it's really tiring. Kids want to be with people, but we also need to be mindful of how what we're saying to our children, how we're presenting our opinions. Hey, parang lockdown na naman. So just making sure that you're aware of how you're presenting it to your children. And if you show them that, hey, online distance learning can be fun, then they will also have that mindset. So that positive thinking, because it could be. Imagine, like I was telling my daughter, imagine now you don't need to be awake so early. I mean, we live really close to her school, but she used to wake up at before 5:30 to get to school for a 7:15 class. Now she wakes up at 7:15 because class is at 8:15. So showing them that, hey, online distance learning could be fun and these are its perks, or that they can be in their casual clothes, they don't need to wear their uniform. So encourage your child to have a positive mindset about online learning. And when I say online learning, about school, I had my daughter. It's her first year. It started in August. It's her first year in this school because she's grade 1, and um, it's online with a new school and new people. And she kept saying, and she didn't want to make friends. And I kept telling her, no, why don't you talk to this child, that child? And she's saying, I don't want to talk to strangers, because they're all strangers to her. She's never met them. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to make her make friends? Because yeah, naman, why will you want to talk to strangers? How will they connect with people she's never met? She's never even seen them. So I chose one child and I said, oh, I know her mom. And I really made an effort to like connect with this mom and say, okay, I know her mom, and maybe, and then instead of forcing them to play, I would just say like, oh, I chatted with her mom today and she said that she's also playing this game that you're playing. So trying to find similarities for my daughter and that child. Until now, after a month, they're friends and they chat and they play online. They've never met, but they've become friends. So it's really up to us how we present it to our children, how we present this online learning to our children. It could be, yes, admittedly, it's challenging talaga, for them to be learning in this way. And I found that what's great is getting to know what your child's interests are. Why is it important? Right now, many schools are doing interest-based learning or working on projects. What is interest-based learning? It's using your child's interest. Ano ba yung mga hilig niya? What is she wondering about? What does she like to play with? Using that as a basis for the curriculum and a basis for the activities that your child will do online even. So for example, like my daughter likes science. So I try to find science activities for her to do so she can research it online. She can Google these different science experiments, and then we try it offline. So we do it offline, but she learns about it online. So getting their interest, understanding what do they enjoy and what do they like to do. When I explain this to my teachers when we do training, why we do interest-based, I always explain to them, di ba mas masaya yung electives nyo? You enjoyed in college your electives because that was your choice. That was your interest. Rather than when you were forced to take, like specific subjects that you have no choice, it's just that it's part of the curriculum. So you learn better, you were learning better, you remember that information better because it was based on your interest in your own choice. So it's the same when you want to fuel your child's curiosity. It's starting out with what they are interested in. What are they wondering about? What are they excited about? When you start off with their interest, you respond to your child's strengths, your child's abilities. And so parang sa start pa lang magaling na siya because it's her strength. And that will lead you to engagement in learning other things. So I find that this approach is perfect for online learning because it's hard enough to get their attention with all the distractions and the one way, seemingly one way in an online setting. But because they're engaged, they're interested, and they're participating and paying attention. And we don't just stop there, but we use their interest to build on other areas of learning and development. So other things that we want them to do. So starting out, let's say if my child likes science, I start out with a science experiment, and then she doesn't like writing. So I will ask her to write based on the science experiment that she did. So building on that. Okay. You also have to think about your own goals and your own values for your child. Like, what do you want for your child? And you can use games, apps, videos, websites to encourage that thing that you want to promote in your child. So I have a cousin who wants his daughter to be a doctor. So ngayon pa lang, doctor, all the doctor cartoons, doctor toys, full support doctor, books, anything doctor. So he's already programming her mind. So you also can think about what values you want to teach your children and use technology. So let's say values about your own religion or your own beliefs. So reading stories about it on apps online, or my daughter and my nieces are really into diversity and inclusion, and using words that are politically correct, and they use stories, social media to orient the older generation who are not so good with diversity and inclusion. So using that, like, how do your children want to be using online media to promote those skills and values? Another thing we learned during this pandemic early on is the importance of life skills. Everybody's a plantito, growing your own food. I mean, my sister has her garden, and in her garden with all her nice leaves, there is mga herbs, mga papaya. So it's learning how to grow our own food, life skills, and cooking. Everybody's suddenly cooking everything. So these are other things that you can learn online. Our students, of course, this was a Zoom class, and the teachers were showing them how to cook something. So what life skills? You can also use technology to learn those things. Okay, and then 21st century skills are so important with this sudden push into the digital world. Preschools are online, classes are online. Whoever thought e-wallets and online shopping, parang almost overnight. For a long time, a friend was telling me about these e-wallets, and I wasn't minding it. And then suddenly now, I don't know, you cannot live without it. That's everybody's mode of payment anywhere you go. So teachers have become even creative in assessing children. So you cannot get away from what will the workplace of our kids look like when turn na nila. I mean, let's say my daughter is graduating in 2035, and then give it, let's say, another 5 years for her to go, let's say, just for quick computation for college, 2040. What is the workplace going to look like in 2040? I mean, when I give this talk, I always use Google as an example, how their office is just so relaxed compared to the office space of before. Like, having before we're in cubicles and just everybody like, like line factory type thing. And now it's just more open and more accepting. So imagine what their workplace will look like. We have to teach them new skills. And subject level mastery, yung mastery lang sa math or mastery na magaling sila magsulat, that's not enough. Children need these 4 C's. Students must master the ability to communicate, collaborate, work with other people, to think critically and creatively. Now they can check everything on YouTube. And when my daughter doesn't know how to do a math problem, my older one, I always tell her, can you just check YouTube how to do it? Can you just go online? Can you Google it? Because yung mga computations like that or things that we used to memorize for school, they can just find that online. So now children need to master how to use technology, how to analyze, how to present the information. They have so much information, but how will they present it? And not just in school, but in their workplace later on. So these 4 C's will support your child in the future. And online learning can provide many opportunities to practice that. Teachers are so creative now also. Let's say communication. It's both verbal and non-verbal. To help children to, how are they going to talk about what the ideas that they have? Your children will have so much access to content. They need to learn about what content and what is right. There's so much things, websites that they can follow, but they need to think critically that, should I believe this? Should I believe this website? So you have to allow your child to be creative with their media use, and help her, again, going back to her interests. So let's say, she can give a video tutorial on how to put on makeup, or they can vlog about a research topic, or let's say they want to, when the pandemic is over, or what place can we visit, so they can research about that and vlog about it. So that's communicating. Tell me why we should go to that place. Collaboration, can happen when children share ideas. When we work with our teachers, we collaborate on topics, and we use Google Docs because online we can see what each other is adding onto the document, and it's happening real time. Problem solving and critical thinking. Let's say in this geometry class, students are directed. They're learning how to use these geometry skills in real life, in the real world. So let's say make an architectural plan. And so they have to think critically. So after that, after you present your blueprint and your floor plan, now you have to draw the front view of your house. Or another student has to learn about slope and pitch and rise. So it directly relates to building. So that their creativity can come out, and their problem solving skills. Creativity can happen online. Let's say, so I was telling you about my daughter who is here listening, and her friend wasn't allowed to play a game, an online game during weekdays, but she's allowed to go online and chat. So they were so creative coming up with a game. So they started to play Bato Bato Pick, and then the winner gets to change something in her filter. So children learn to be creative because there was a limit that she can't use this online multiplayer game. They had to be creative with new ideas and alternate ways of playing and interacting. There are so many things that they can use. In this photo that I shared here, our students were learning about ramps. And what they did is, because they're stuck at home, they used Google Map, the satellite image, to look for ramps around the school. So this happened last year, and so they had already been to the school physically. So they knew the neighborhood, and they used the satellite maps in Google to take pictures of ramps that they saw. So they showed like the slide, the wheelchair ramp in the places near our school. So, fueling their curiosity using these apps. Children, their storybooks. It's so fun that they're digital reading platforms. At the touch of a finger, you have all the books. Using YouTube, like children are reading, either teachers reading aloud storybooks or authors, the authors actually reading the stories to the children, or actors. So it's so much more fun. TV shows, live streaming. My partner, she has a 4-year-old daughter, and my partner was watching a docu-series on about toys that we grew up with. And her 4-year-old started to say, "Mama, what are you watching?" And from there, she, looking at these toys that was on in that show, her mom, they started to talk about it, and then they started to go online and look for videos about those toys, and then searching for those toys physically and playing with it together, purchasing it and playing with it together. So it's from these TV series or videos that she was able to really have this conversation with her child. So it's from their interests, again. And then again, last year or even now, we've been going on online field trips. I mean, there's Google Arts and Culture, which is really great because you get to see places online and like as if you're really there. And using their interest. So let's say our children were interested in drawing and scribbling, and we went to the Picasso Museum in Spain through an online field trip. So these are things that we can use, and there are so many things. When the pandemic happened, everybody really opened up their doors. NASA and all these wonderful museums that we wouldn't have been able to see previously. We're even able to invite speakers from everywhere, different specialists from around the world to talk to our kids online about something that they're learning about. Let's say one class is learning about construction, then they can invite an architect to talk to them online about that. So these are other ways that we can use technology, like journaling. So I shared on the right side, I use my device to journal. And what's fun is I can attach a picture, I can use different colors in writing my notes and my thoughts. My daughter also does creative note taking where she draws out her notes, like especially for science, yung mga cells and things. She really draws it out and colors it using her gadget. Of course, online, everything, discoveries that you can do through a search, blogs that are written by experts in the field, podcasts on so many different topics, I mean, that your child is interested in. You can help them find podcasts and blogs to read about. So use again your child's interest to build on the skills that you want them to learn or what they're interested in. Okay, and I know another concern is really like what I told you guys when my 6-year-old started grade 1, parang how is she gonna make friends? So teaching the right way to socialize online, because yeah, I think, okay, schools, galing na nila with the academics and managing all these online classrooms and, topics online, but how about their socialization and making friends? So I believe that social skills are learned at home first. And now that our kids are home with us, it's the perfect opportunity to model and to build their social skills, because you can actively teach it to them in your own interactions with them, with each other, with your spouse, with your kasambahay, or even with your extended family. So respect, being kind, being helpful, those things start at home. This is our own learning goals and key outcomes for our children. You know, we want them to be responsible. We want them to be um, kind friends. We want them to listen. So um, learning isn't just about just all the academics, but if you look at our key outcomes that we want for our children, it really starts with more of what people like to call parang the softer skills. And I'm just trying to pull it up because my wonderful eyesight cannot see it. But the softer skills in what we want our students to learn, and that includes interacting with people and socializing with people. Okay, but how are we going to do it online? And as I started earlier, you know, everything that's offline, it's going to also be just echoed online. So social development, I will share with you the stages from baby all the way up to teenagers. So if you think about your baby, di ba when they're baby, you're so excited to look for that first smile. Smiling is their first interaction socially. Your baby can enjoy playing with you and laughing with you and smiling at you.
All right. I hope you guys are listening very well to teacher Gabby. We'll have her back in a bit just to wrap things up with everything that we're learning with her today. I personally learned so much. I know it's already a little past 9 o'clock. Para sa iba dyan na may kasama yung mga anak nila. I know it's also past their bedtime or maybe past their gadget usage. But to the adults who are staying with us and still listening, thank you so much. Let's check. You know, I want to read through the comments quickly just to check off what you guys were listening at. Hi, Teacher Gabby. Welcome back. Let me just run through some of the. It's all good.
Sure,
Let me just
sure.
run through some quick comments from people because they're really enjoying the talk. I'll read them quickly before we get on back while you prepare your slides again. This is so nice. So sabi dito, they really agree with you. Self-awareness, which is a very good response. We already have our questions. I just want to remind everyone who's watching, feel free to type in your questions and your comments. No wrong or right here. It's just about expressing ourselves and really being honest. If we're having a hard time with something, then we'll try to be of help for any one of you. So yeah, go ahead, type away. We'll get back to it in a bit. But now I'll turn you back to Teacher Gabby.
Thank you. So yeah, just wrapping up and then my Wi-Fi. Okay, so social development. Your baby can communicate with gestures. You know, we ask them to wave bye-bye, say hello to Lola. Your toddler, you know, this is your like 1 to 3 year old. Your toddler can imitate the behavior of others. They enjoy the company of other children. And so they're so deprived of that right now, being with other children. Your toddler likes to play simple games and take turns. Yung mga pass the ball back and forth, they enjoy doing that. So how can you help them socially right now? You can have video calls. So I was telling you earlier, the American Academy of Pediatrics used to say from 0 to 2, no gadgets, completely no gadgets. But they have changed their stand on that, saying that video calls with loved ones, you know, chatting online with Lolo or Lola helps your baby develop his or her language skills. Studies have shown that those video calls helps them. So you can have video calls with your loved ones. You can join online play groups. Diba, it says here that children like the company of other children. So you can help them with that through online play groups. You can host a play date. So like I was saying earlier, my niece and my nephew, what they do, they go online and they have a simple play date and they have the same toy and they just play together and they make cuenta. Kids are amazing. They will figure it out. You can play simple games offline with your child, but it can also be online. In this photo that I shared, we were waiting for an event to start in class, and then our kids said, okay, while they're waiting, let's play a game. And then they said, let's play hide and seek. So you can see them here hiding. Some were good at they would turn off their camera, they're hiding now. And others were hiding in different parts of their house. So through these online games, children are able to play and interact with other children. Okay, as they get older, you're preschooler. What can we expect? By these are your 4 or 5 year olds. By the end of the 4th year, your child should be able to play interactively with others. This is when they like to play bahay-bahayan. I'll be the mommy, you be the daddy. Fantasy play, yung pretend play, they make up rules for their games. This happens at this time. So this is when your child is learning to have self-control, how to negotiate. Na, sige, it's your turn first, I'll wait. By the age of 5, by the end of the 5th year, your child will be more concerned. They're starting to be more aware of their friends, and their world is no longer about mommy and daddy, but they're also starting to open up to friends. Your child will start enjoying activities like singing and dancing and acting. And so this is the perfect time that you can enroll in an online class to develop their singing or their dancing skills. Over the summer, we had these activities here. They were cooking pastillas. So enroll them in these short classes that they can interact and develop those skills. Again, those online play dates. I noticed, like, when my daughter was playing this, it's a multiplayer game. She would be playing with her friends. So they're on the game. They're both playing in that game, but they have their devices on and they're chatting. This is when she was about 5 years old. They're chatting with each other. So they have 2 devices or 2 apps open, their video call, plus they're playing the game, but they're pretending. Okay, she'll say, okay, you be the mommy and I will pretend that I'm the big sister. So in that multiplayer game that they were playing with online, it's an app, they were doing pretend play because that's the stage that they're in. They will really enjoy playing those kinds of games. So and then offline, you can provide time and materials for them to have pretend play. So to make bahay-bahayan, set up, as a child, I used to love to wear my mom's high heels, her makeup. So providing these things for them to support their pretend play in social development. And they can do it with their friends in their online play date. As they go into school, children are suddenly starting school and now they're having contact with the larger world. So hindi lang yung people at home, but now with teachers, classmates, other families. Friendship becomes more and more important as they get into grade school. And this is a critical time for your child to develop confidence in life. And they develop that through friends, through schoolwork, doing well in their schoolwork, or even through sports. And they can, there's so many ways to sports. Parang they're doing it also online, sports classes online. Your tween, ano ba yung tween? These are your 9 to about 12-year-olds. They're also starting to form more complex friendships. So by this stage, this is when they have their barkada na, or their best friend. Earlier than that, like, yeah, okay, they have this friend and the next year, bago na naman. But when they come to about that stage of 11, 12, they have their mga best friends and their barkada. So how can we encourage their online social development for this age group? So for you, you can encourage your child to play board games. So I saw this, like, mom sent, let's say, a simple board game that she sent it to the child's friend, or they can look what, let's say 3, 4 friends, what board games do they all have, and then they all set up their board game physically, but play together online through a video chat, and then they can make moves online, so they can play board games. They can do crafts online. Recently, I was asking my daughter, "What are you guys doing? You're all giggling there." And they were all trying to draw this same character. They were all in an online call, but they were each drawing this character in different ways. So crafting online, group chat tools and apps. There are so many games that are popping up online that children can do together, games that can be played together online, and multiplayer games, and of course still encouraging your child to read, and continue to read, whether it's on a device or a physical book. Okay, and finally, the teen years. These are like 13 to 17. Relationships with friends are really still the most important at this stage. Your teen will have other interests also, because he's starting to develop, like, sino ba ako? This is like, now I'm the varsity player or I'm the artist. So they're starting to develop a sense of self. And it's an important time to really start honing their independence and their responsibility. So you can encourage your teenager to be mindful about social media use, so really dialoguing with them. You can encourage them to use group chats and tools. I don't think you even need to encourage them, they're doing it, but just bringing their awareness to proper things. Fun activities they can do are, like, of course, the online games or challenges. Ang daming mga breakout room challenges. So these are things that your child can do with friends online. Sometimes you also just need to prepare it for them because they're shy. They could be shy to suggest it, so you can suggest it to them. Because they're also developing their interest, this is when they can start joining communities, Facebook communities or communities based on their own interests, and following blogs or finding groups. Like here in our community, there's a youth group that comes together, and they talk about, while it's a religious youth group, they talk about and learn about all kinds of topics. So those are some things that you can do to help your child socially and interact socially. So just some reminders that really it starts with you being that role model about how to interact online. You want to make sure that you also take an interest early on. So don't wait until your child is 16 before you start monitoring your child's social media or talking about these safe practices or how to behave online. Take an interest early on. Listen, my 6-year-old, she wants to tell, Mama, I want to tell you about my game. I want you to look at my character and look at the colors. And so we talk about it, like, why did you choose purple hair? Oh, it's fun to have purple hair. But do you think it would be nice for you to have purple hair? So, whatever values you have, you can already start discussing it early on. Yung hindi pa siya a sensitive topic. Because then they will also be more open to you, more willing to share, and they know that you're going to be non-judgmental, that you will support them, and that you're listening. And finally, help your child to identify healthy behaviors by identifying their feelings. Like I was sharing earlier, letting them think about, how does this make you feel? What you're seeing, what you're saying, how does it make you feel? So, teaching your child to be a better netizen. This was a study by Google in 2020, and it's really a resource that I use. But technology, I started by saying, I don't want to say, ban gadgets and go off grid. Technology is there to serve us. It's there to bring us towards our goal. So that's what we want to teach our children. It's going back to respect, going back to being kind, and helping them to use this technology towards their goals rather than as a distraction. So being in control of technology helps us to get its potential and teaches us how to be better netizens by just being respectful and kind. Okay, I know I talk a lot. I always should start by saying I'm so madaldal. But if you have questions, let me know and let me see your comment. You're in the comment section. Or shall. Oh my, I cannot hear. I'm sorry. Ah, you're on mute, Shal.
Hi
There.
everyone. Sorry, I was so
Is it
engaged
me?
listening to teacher Gabby. She really gave the full spectrum of everything. And wow, we could see all your comments and questions too, mamaya. Iisa-isahin natin yan. But first, I just want to say, I love the initial comment when someone said GMRC. Sa mga bagets or to the younger ones who are maybe not too familiar with that, good manners or good behavior. All right, don't worry. We played the video and we'll be playing it again in a bit. I see all your thank yous. I know we all learned from Teacher Gabby, so thank you so much. We'll bring in Teacher Gabby again to help us answer a few of your questions. I just want to say, wow, thank you for staying up with us. I can see all your comments. So engaging. You know what? We are also learning from you. So if it's not questions, maybe it's ideas, it's tips that you have. We can all learn from each other here today. So feel free to type that away. But yes, we see all those thank yous to Teacher Gabby, who you found really helpful. So I think before we call on Teacher Gabby, we'll do a little replay of the video that you saw earlier on. You know, before we do that, I just wanted to say gadgets right now, being online, is already somewhat an extension of ourselves, diba? It's what we used to go to to study, to attend work, to learn new things, to connect with friends, and even with you guys right now, how we're connecting. So it's really something that we have to learn to live with, have fun with as well, and really give it more value and add value to it in our lives. So yeah, maybe if you guys have more questions, go ahead and type it up after we watch this video. We'll make sure to answer a few of those. Now, the content of this video is basically the heart of why we have gathered here tonight. The following videos are about to teach you a thing or two on your kids' general behavior or online behavior and the wonders of learning online. So moms and dads and to all the adults watching here tonight, let's see this.
That's enough screen time for today, Jake.
Mom, you always say that.
Google presents Internet Awesome Parents, your kids and their online behavior. The internet is a wonderful place for kids to learn and enjoy. But with time spent online going up, we need to talk to them about their online safety and well-being. Here's how we can step in without overstepping. First, we have to understand their world. Unlike us, our kids have never known a time without the internet. It's natural for them to go online for everything, be it learning or fun. As parents, we need to empathize with their instincts. Next, get to know their interests and find ways to be genuinely present.
Yay!
And together, you can discover other wholesome content and help them understand what's appropriate.
That's cool.
Then, create the rules together and listen to their point of view. These are great ways to start talking to your kids about their online safety and well-being.
Wow, Jake, you're getting good.
Whoop whoop.
Now that you're set to learn more, catch all 6 videos on Internet Awesome Parents for a little help with digital parenting.
Dad, did you know that the word dinosaur
Definitely learning a lot, and I'm sure everyone here is too. I just want to remind everyone that we are inviting you to watch the full Internet Awesome Parents series. So you just saw a couple or a few of those. There's actually a full one on the Internet Awesome Parents series. All you have to do to see all these videos is go on Google's YouTube channel. And you know what? Maybe what you could do is share it with your partner as well, so you could learn together, or share it with other friends, other parents too. And I'm sure it's going to be helpful to everyone. So yeah, visit Google's YouTube channel and watch full Internet Awesome Parents series. All right, as promised, we're going to bring back teacher Gabby, whom we've all learned a lot from. As I was saying, we were going to answer questions. So let's see that. Let's go through everyone. So yeah, we heard you guys say GMRC, good manners and right conduct. That's the
Yes.
So that's Gabby. I really love it. You can put it on mute first there. So teacher Gabby, I really love it when you mentioned that. For me, yun yung tumatak talaga sa isipan ko, to keep it simple, diba? Sweet and simple. It's whatever you will do offline, then, yun din yung online presence mo somewhat, parang ganon. Diba? Kasi when we face each other, we don't talk a certain way, we talk naman in complete sentences, or kahit na mas casual, kahit paano, may manners pa rin. So, I think that's one thing that I really, really remember a lot. So, I'll check on first our viewers. Again, I want to greet all our media friends as well who joined in, who's staying up, listening in with their partners, maybe with their kids. Thank you so much for making time. And to all the moms who are here in different parts of the Philippines, even the dads, some of you watching with your kids as well. Okay, let me quickly go through some of your comments. Sherry Bell said, very useful insights and timely. Yes, super. We're all in our gadgets. Sa totoo lang, I actually also believe that it's not just for the kids, but the adults rin useful siya. Okay, so let's go straight to the questions. Here's one from Amy Mac. How young is it okay to let our children use a gadget?
Okay, so yeah, I shared earlier that even the babies, you can use it together with them through video calls. So there, you can use it together with them through video calls, but not leaving them alone to their device. So really, for children from 0 to about 8, you need to be with them. You cannot just leave them alone on their device. So it should be in a common room where there are people. So there is no youngest age, but it's knowing how to support them while they're using it.
Okay. Um, so are we saying now that, we can't really help but, expose to naman our kids to the device, to the gadgets, especially when they're young, or especially when they see that their siblings using it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Okay, just yeah, knowing at different stages that your child can't just have the freedom to use it. So there should be limits. Discuss it as they get older, discussing it with them. But for small children, you are the parent, so you have to create the limits for your child.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, next question. Okay, someone here asked what to do if my 9-year-old daughter cannot talk her
Talk about your
emotions, especially
feelings.
when I ask her what's
Right.
wrong. We were talking about this earlier on, and then she will
Yes,
really just
yes.
go silent, no answer, even
Mm-hmm.
though I know she's
Don't
upset.
interest.
So this is a
Yeah.
communication thing. What would you suggest?
Yes, it is. It is. And again, because of digital, children are not as vocal. And by 9, of course, they've already developed certain habits. And so start off. If she is more comfortable writing it out, I was telling you about my daughter who I'll just text it to you. So if she's more comfortable writing it out, or chatting with you, so even if you're in the same place but you can just chat about it, it's less confrontational. So you can start off with that and then slowly building. So you can say when you come to the dinner, so first you are chatting, and then when you come to the dinner table, you can say, oh, so I read your message, and just briefly talk about it and reinforce what you want to share with your child. Like, I know you felt bad because your friend did this. And then slowly build that communication again with them. So it's again, you have to develop that skill of communicating face to face, and then also identifying the feelings. Sometimes they just feel bad. I mean, I'm sure even as adults, we're not aware that that's why pala I felt bad. So sometimes I have a feeling that, well, what am I feeling? So you can also identify the feelings for your child. This say that, label it. You feel sad, you feel mad, frustrated, upset. So there, even just being able to label their emotions is a good start. Okay, so I saw another question about using. Right now, my daughter is into music and she's enjoying streaming music online. And I know I can't screen what she can or can't listen to all the time. So, how do I allow her to enjoy it while making sure she's not exposed to music na medyo hindi appropriate yung language? It's true. So, I use that for my daughter. Sometimes we use that as a bridge, like, okay, you can listen to music before I totally take away the gadget. I'm happy that she's just listening to music because her eyes are not on the device. So live streaming music is a great way, and it's a good thing for them to listen. But yes, explicit content. Certain live streaming apps, it has explicit content. It will tell you explicit content, so you can put a privacy setting on that. I'm not sure how old is your child, but if she's between like 4 and up, you can already tell her, if you see this, and she doesn't need to read the word explicit, but if you see this, it means it's not appropriate for you, so you shouldn't be listening to that. And young kids are so good. If mommy says no, nako, they really will follow. So you can also guide your child in that, because you're right, you cannot be 100% with watching what your child is doing. So you need to equip them in choosing what's right and wrong and explaining to them. It's not for your age. It's I don't like the words that they're using. Those are not kind words. Those are hurtful words. So talking to them about that and helping them to decide um, about it. Okay, so I know she's not aware of what the song really means. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Casey, from Casey, how many hours a day is it recommended to use gadgets? So it also depends by age. Again, for below 2, 1 hour is a lot. Okay, so really very limited for children below 2 because they're developing their skills in communication. And it's more important that when they use the device, they are talking to somebody live. So let's say in our preschool classes, this is why we don't give recordings of our classes. We want to be interacting with the child live. And moving and talking as we go along. So and then for the preschoolers about up to 6 to 8, it's really limited to 3 hours. That should already include online class time, 5 hours stretching it if they are online. For your teenagers, of course, it's longer hours, but just being mindful that it doesn't disrupt their sleep pattern, their behavior also. So limiting it. And don't believe, okay, no, not don't believe, but if they say like, mommy, I needed to study, yes, but there's a limit. You know, even for me, when I do my research, 2 hours is a long time for me to be online doing my research. So what I do is I print it out. So when they research online, you ask them to print it out so that they're off the gadget. Okay, and then a question from Charisse Ann Bello. Binyas. How can I find interest sa teenager ko without her noticing na I'm invading her personal space? I know, di ba? Even when we were teenagers, we felt that way too. Ang hirap po kasi talagang beshies kami ng daughter ko when she is young, but nung lumaki siya, feeling niya I'm invading. It's true, and it's a natural flow. Mommy, don't feel bad. Teens need to develop a certain boundary already between their parents and themselves and their friends. It's a natural growth progression of this stage of development. So how can you find out her interest? By just watching first. Don't snoop, don't snoop on online. That's why they end up making all these sub accounts, social media accounts. There's one, yeah, for mommy and one for everybody else. So don't also judge them. Don't make pagalitan like, why were you wearing that? Or why were you doing that? Or, ay, hindi ko type yung song na yan. So don't judge. Just listen, observe what is she doing? I mean, you're together 24/7 for sure. Through just watching her, what music she's listening to, or even what outfits she's wearing, or what she's choosing, you will start to notice their interests. I mean, so from there you can jump off from that, and then trying to support her. My sister-in-law, she's super into K-pop, and it's because of her daughter. She started to get into K-pop because of her daughter. So that's something that you can do. Try to interact with them, but not naman invading their space. Just Sorry. Okay, so let's thank you so much everybody for joining us tonight and staying on. Thank you. So just a reminder that things whatever you want them to be online, it has to start offline. So positive behavior offline is positive behavior online. It starts with you at home, social skills, and you being a role model. So be a role model. And really, we want to teach them about kindness, respect, and to use technology to their advantage. So that's all. Thank you
Teacher,
and good evening.
thank you so much for the time to answer all those questions after teaching us everything as well.
Really, really, really helpful. Like what I said, my favorite, like most of you here, the online, offline presence to keep it the same. Basic manners as well. Actually, and the best, but the hardest, which I think a lot of the parents and the guardians here gave comments to, is set an example, diba? Be a role model because we're also always on our gadgets. It's part of our job every day. We're on it. And we can't help but, when parents, get questioned na, bakit ikaw, mommy? 'Di ba? So it's a very good reminder. I like the example that you set, during dinner. When we use our gadgets, we tell our kids not too much. So let's also set aside those safe zones as well. 'Di ba? I'm listening. I'm learning a lot. Okay. Thank you so much. I see that a lot of people here as well have been learning as well. Danica saying thank you. Everyone else saying thank you. Feel free to still put in your comments what your favorite learning was or practices that you do because we can all learn from each other. Once again, that was teacher Gabby. Now, I know you all still have questions, but unfortunately, we have a very limited time today. Before we go, I'd like to remind everyone that we do have a giveaway today, and feel free to take your chance to win these awesome items. Can we show it again? Let's show it again so everyone can see it. Again, if you want to win these swags that you're going to be seeing on screen, of course, from Google, all you have to do is share your live feed right now, or even just share the link of what took place today. Not only will you be sharing and getting a chance to win, but you'll also be, who knows, helping someone, teach their kids as well how to be better netizens. Don't forget to use the official hashtag. That's hashtag Internet Awesome Parents and hashtag Mommy Mundo. When you're done with the sharing, keep in mind to head over to the stories page of Mommy Mundo and look for the question, okay, that you have to answer. When you find it, simply answer that question. And of course, the winners will get the Google swags we just showed you and will be announced at the end of the month. There you have it, exactly what you're seeing. So go ahead and do that already. Do the sharing and answer the question. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us the whole event. And we do hope to see you again next week for another exciting full learning session with Google and Mommy Mundo, of course. So I want to show you our episode 2. If you learned today, make sure to share it as well. Feel free to share the poster too. Our topics for next week is ensuring your kids' safety online. Can't be more important. Safety online. Yes, there is such a thing. It is a must for us. I can't wait for this. I need this too. And I'm sure a lot of you there, we probably know some basics, but to better it, to improve it, why not, right? So don't forget, September 22, 8 p.m. That's Wednesday again, just like today. Stay updated on live sessions and workshops on Mommy Mundo by joining the Mommy Mundo community. If you haven't done so, simply go to www.mommymundo.com and click on the sign up now button for instant access to exclusive news and updates sent to your email. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram or other platforms as well. Don't forget to check out also YouTube. That's it. My name is Shalontak. I was your host today. I hope you guys learned as much as I did. And again, share it with other people who would find it helpful. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. See you again next week. Maraming salamat po.